celebrating the feast of Saint Philopateer, and because our church is on his name, we've decided to give the kids a lesson about Saint Philopateer and ask them questions and hear their feedback.
Today we came to church, right? What did you do? What did you do in the morning? You pray with Abuna? And do you know the name of the church? What? Philopateer and Saint Damiana. Do you know anything about Saint Philopateer? What do you know about Saint Philopateer? He's like soldier?
Yeah.
Yes? And what else? Sitting, yes, exactly. And he's sitting on the horse.
The horse.
Yay.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Guys, today we're going to be learning from the story of Saint Philopateer, one of the church patron saints. Anybody knows what the word Philopateer means? Yeah?
Love of the Father.
Great. The story of Saint Philopateer starts.
She's the head nun of Saint Philopateer's monastery.
Very good. And they had a land where? In which city?
Alexander.
Alexandria, great. And right beside that, there was the land of who?
The army.
The army, okay? So the Ministry of Defense. And they liked their land a lot and they wanted to take it.
They want to take it for good.
And so they brought one day, they brought a piece of paper with an order signed from who?
The president.
The president, saying that this land is to be transferred to us. Right?
Yes.
And they started to build what around it?
A wall.
A wall, very good. What happened is, the Mavirini and the nuns, they didn't have much power at this point. So they just decided to do what?
Pray.
To pray and to start a fast. Very good. Then one day she was in her cell and she had a vision and she saw who in front of her?
She saw a soldier.
A soldier on
a horse.
Very good. And he told her, bring that piece of paper
And come.
and come behind me and we're gonna go take care of this problem for you. Okay? So they found themselves where?
They found themselves in the palace of the king.
Of the president. Okay, very good. And he was sleeping in the middle of the night and he woke up and he saw two people in front of him. He's like, who's this? What's going on?
And then The soldier on the horse said, I am Abu Sufyan.
Yeah, and I'm in charge of protecting this place and the nuns. And you know who this is? This is Philopateer, okay? And they told him, you took something from us that doesn't belong to you, right? And he took a look at the paper, and he's like, yeah, that's right. I did order this, and this is my signature, but what can I do now? It's very late at night, right?
They asked to do another order, printed into.
Exactly. So they asked them, okay, you're gonna do another order, and you're gonna make 2 copies of it, because they want to take back 1 copy to show that we do have an order to cancel the first one, right? So he ended up doing that, and then before they leave, they told him, but please don't do what? Don't punish anybody who's responsible for this. Very good. Very good. Okay? So she went back, and she first thought that she was dreaming because it all happened so fast and so quickly. But when she read over the paper again, she saw that, yeah, this is true. Like this is the order, and that's his signature. So she brought all the nuns, and they started doing a praise, and then the president came to visit her the next morning, right? Then we said later on, after a few years later on, she got sick and she went to the hospital. And who ended up visiting her at the hospital?
The person that first
The head of the
the minister, like the minister of defense, the one who came with the original order, okay? And he told her what?
He told her he thanked her because he didn't get punished and he got to keep his job.
Exactly. He told her, I'm here to thank you. I'm really sorry for what I did, but I'm thanking you because if it wasn't for you telling the president not to punish me, I would have been punished and I would have lost my job. So thank you, and I'm sorry for what I did. Okay, so this, as we said, this miracle is very popular. Almost everybody knows it in Egypt, and that's one of the most popular miracles for Saint Philopateer, right? Good.
Philopateer means lover of the Father.
We've asked all of them 3 questions. The first question is, what did you learn from the messages of Archangel Michael to Saint Philopateer?
Have faith in God, and also God is always going to stand beside us and protect us.
His father fainted because the animal attacked his grandfather.
What I learned from Archangel Michael is that he's the protector of Earth, and all he tries to do is to clear the darkness and fear out of all his people.
I learned that he was very faithful.
He told Philopateer, be strong and faithful, and you will win the fight. You take my sword.
He told him to be strong and have faith in God.
God is with us, and you should never be afraid.
The archangel told him that God would be with him. Do not be afraid.
The second question is, what did you learn from the story of Saint Philopateer?
I learned to trust in God and confess my faith.
That if you pray, anything can happen.
That He's very forgiving, loving, and courageous, and always follows God's commandment, even though everybody's doing something wrong.
What I learned from Saint Philopateer is to stand by my beliefs and say no to the things against it.
After baptism, he is named changed from Philopateer to Margaret. Archangel Michael gave him a second sword to fight with.
I learned perseverance because St. Philopateer prayed every night when he was in prison.
Before, St. Philopateer's family wasn't Christian until they got baptized and they became Christian.
I learned that you should never forget about God, especially during the good times in your life.
St. Philopateer never lost faith in God.
And that God is always with you and will support you through trials and temptations.
You should never be afraid.
He's a great martyr, and he died at 25 years old.
And the last question is, how can you apply his story to your life?
That we need to be courageous.
And we also need to trust God. Never be afraid because God is with us.
In this story, I like how St. Philopateer trusted God's ways and fought worldly ideals in order to represent him and become a martyr. I can apply this to my life by fighting the societal ideals that I see today at school and everywhere in my life, and try to represent God through my own actions.
God's an angel to protect us.
I get a clear and obvious message which makes me more courageous and more faithful, like the saint who sacrificed his life in the love of God.
To always believe in God and never turn back from Him.
To be brave and not to be scared to confess my faith.
I pray to God every time I need help with my problems.
Because he was very courageous and faithful.
Have faith in God and be strong.
By not being scared to say my faith in school.
Thank you for joining us tonight, and I hope that you found all these questions and answers helpful to you just as much as they were for the kids.